before. Welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic. It's in your safe. Great job, 49ers.
The 5 best players ever in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is not one of them.
Rafa, you can't say anywhere that he doesn't belong in the league.
Give me that amount of money, and I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Josh Allen will never make the playoffs again.
The SEC is straight trash.
This fool was a crumb buff.
Oh, he was in one of those vests?
Yeah.
For you, Clink. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic. Another special edition, episode 115. 115, guys?
Yes, sir.
115, holiday edition. I know it's a Monday. Eddie Money, yes, the 6'4" elf on the shelf. You kind of, he had the same. Anyways.
Yeah. Gay shelf on the up.
115. Welcome, everybody. I know it's not Monday, or it's not Tuesday, or it's not Wednesday, it's Monday, but we are consolidating college and NFL so you guys can enjoy your family and spend it together in the same room, right? CJ's like, I'm not doing that shit.
He is.
No, I'm just disappointed in what's about to be shown on the screen right now.
Oh, the Grinch that stole
God.
Christmas. There he is. Executive producer Eddie Money, the Grinch. Say, what's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
Show if you're gonna go that far, let's see the Grinches. Let's see, like Eddie Money went out. Eddie Money went out and bought cleats, and doesn't play any fucking sports where he needs cleats. Just so everyone knows. They are fire.
I'm a
But-
collector, though. I do collect.
Yes. So let's do our introductions. CJ, executive producer of our college show, which we're going to get into first. Eddie Money, executive producer of all the rest. We have Rafa, the guru, with another, oh, there, another stunning jersey collection. Papa, that Bo
knows,
Jackson signed, dude. I
Dude,
wouldn't.
you got to see the inscriptions. 87 All-Star Game MVP. That's a piece right there.
Dude, that
All-Star
is
patch, the whole fucking nine
is
on that jersey.
a piece. Yeah, I can't take my eyes off of it. It's so beautiful. But Rafa the Guru is in the house. He's gonna. Oh, there he is. There he is. You should just go out tomorrow night and just roam the streets
Like that.
dude.
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh, that'd be
pretty
hilarious.
freaking cool, man. By the way, real quick, that is actually an incorrect Heisman pose. It's really foot on the ground and spread out. Everyone does that, but that is a incorrect Heisman pose that was started by Desmond Howard, and no one has corrected it. And I just fixed that problem right now, guys. We are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. Let me go to the comments to make sure everyone, please. Oh, look, Michael Brown's in the chat. Zero Cool. Merry Christmas,
And
everybody. Michelle, Happy New or no, we'll be around for New Year. Kwanzaa, Merry Kwanzaa. Is it Happy Kwanzaa or Merry Kwanzaa? CJ?
Happy Hanukkah.
I only celebrate one thing, sir. So I don't know why you're talking to me.
Yeah. But CJ's those black people that gets offended as fuck too. Like when you try to question his African heritage, he's like, nah. I'm
This
Americano.
man tried to sit here and tell me earlier that somebody who was Dominican and Hawaiian, I'm gay, was more blacker than me.
100%. Because he's black Asian and also black Latinos. Double black.
I'm
You just black American. You just black American.
What does American Indians celebrate on Christmas?
Getting their land stolen.
Wow. Wow. Woo.
CJ's about to put
Christmas
pull out a
land.
bow and arrow. He's gonna shoot a bow and arrow through the wall.
Anyways, guys, we appreciate you all. Stay safe out there. I went into a mall. You got to be aggressive as F to get parking.
So did I just came from
You just got to be aggressive, man. But I hope all of you have gotten your shopping done. If not, good luck, as Marco from Tropoya would say. Good luck. Because it is bad out there, man. It's bad. I suggest you Amazon that shit immediately. But if you guys don't know, we are the gambling show of record. We only have one rule. Grinch, can you tell them what that rule is on the show?
Don't be a loser.
Yes. Great job, Grinch. Even the Grinch knows our rules. That just means, guys, especially right now, money's tight. Unless you got a lock, which there is, Rafa will tell you, no such thing, man. No such. We all have stories that we thought were locks and they're not. So, just don't just go into your stash, your fun stash, and don't go any deeper. That being said, let's get into your fired, right? If you guys don't know, we fire someone every single week, hypothetically. We also do hirings. So if you have someone you want to hire or you want to fire this wonderful Christmas season, go ahead, let us know who you want us to can or promote, and we'll give you a shout out on YouTube and Instagram. Who wants to go first with "You Are Fired"? There you go.
I
CJ.
got a hire and then a firing. So
Okay.
I got negative and then positive. I'm going to hire Bill Belichick for doing what Lincoln Riley and every USC and UCLA coach for the past 10 fucking years has failed to do, and going to get a Trinity League top recruit in the portal, Famori House from St. John Bosco High School. Man, it's just another example of how USC and UCLA will not recruit the top talent in Southern California. They let them go east. They let them go north, especially to Oregon. They let them go everywhere but stay home. Congratulations to Bill Belichick. I think that he is on the right path getting those top recruits. And that's going to fire Kirk Herbstreit because Kirk Herbstreit decided to come for first take. And not only did he come for first take, but he failed to come for Tennessee, who obviously people need to be giving the same energy to that they gave to SMU and that they gave to Indiana. So the fact that Kirk Herbstreit couldn't admit that Tennessee was getting dog walked and he had nothing to say for his fucking bias ass Rafa written network called ESPN or SEN, fucking ESPN bias ass team, just like Rafa would fit perfectly there. They would love him to be at ESPN because he would just stroke the SEC shit all the fucking time. Kirk Herbstreit, you're not fair. You shouldn't have came for first take, and you need to be fucking fair. Give Tennessee the same fucking energy.
Rafa, I mean, CJ, can you go into like I saw, but what did he say that was so bad, or didn't? Is it something that he didn't say?
He went so at the end of the game, him and Reese Davis, they're kind of just talk up the game because there's nothing really to talk about. And Reese Davis goes on his own link and goes, "Oh, I don't understand these ESPN pundits on this program or on this network, like the ones on First Take that say that Ryan Day deserves to be fired." And so what ended up exactly, it was kind of a shot. And then Kirk Herbstreit kind of followed it up and agreed with him. But what ended up happening was that Stephen A kind of ruined a good media moment because what could have happened was that Stephen A, which he kind of did, but he kind of took the soft spot and was like, "Oh, Kirk Herbstreit, I love you, but you misquoted me. And you should quote me right next time. I respect y'all. But at the end of the day, Tennessee got dollywop, yada, yada, yada." Then he brings Shannon Sharp on and says, "Shannon, what do you got to say?" Shannon basically says, "If you
keep my name out my mouth,
keep my name out my motherfucker, keep your name out your motherfucking mouth. Don't talk about any programs or shows that I'm on because if y'all do it again, there's no ESPN executive that can stop me from doing what I'm going to do to y'all." Is his exact words. So,
wow. All right. And who's next? Who's next?
I have one.
Approved, CJ.
Bunk. All right, I'm firing all these stadiums that are banning the Texas mascot from showing up. It's really pissing me off, man. Put the Texas Longhorn on the damn field. We want to see it. Put Beavo on the damn field.
Bullshit.
It's the same place, bro. He don't fit.
Bullshit.
He doesn't fit. It's not
bullshit. You can make, no, it's not, because you can make efforts. You can make arrangements to get that creature on the field.
Bro,
put him there. We want to see it.
The sideline in the Georgia Dome is not big enough for him. I'm sorry. It fucking they said this before the SEC title game.
Fuck it. Tell what 10 of your players don't suit up because Beavo got to be there.
Oh yeah, right. We got to bring a fucking long. Get the fuck out of here.
Can we say now that Nick Saban is gone, that Texas has taken the crown of most hated college football program in college football?
I don't hate them.
I don't hate Texas.
No, I'm not saying like there's hate. There's a lot of hate.
I think Bama still takes the throne because everybody still wants to
really?
No, I don't agree with that. Bama's sorry, it sucked ass this year. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but everybody was celebrating their losses.
That's true.
Yeah, but it wasn't Nick Saban, so it's never gonna feel the same when they lose. Like it's like whatever. Yeah.
It's after like Darth Vader died, became a good guy. Like that's Nick Saban on College Game Day. It's like, oh, we like him now. We like to hug Nick Saban. Before he was Darth Vader, like F Saban. Right. Now that he's not a threat to really anybody except for God. Did you see what's the comedian? That was uncomfortable.
Oh, Shane Gillis?
Shane Gillis.
Love me some Shane Gillis.
Oh, yeah.
That dude has balls, man. I loved it. I loved what he did to Nick Saban. But I get what Rafa's saying, man. I mean, that there's rules. There's fucking rules. That thing
and
gets
there's
pissed
tradition,
off.
Eddie. And there's tradition.
It doesn't matter tradition. If you don't fit,
you must have quit.
Well, you must have quit. That's it. That's it. Sorry. It worked for OJ. It worked for the fucking Georgia Dome. That's it. Or Mercedes Stadium or whatever the fuck they call it now.
I don't know. Give him his own section in the stands. I don't care.
He's fucking like 1,000 pounds. The cage is fucking
Yeah.
bigger than the world. He can't put him there. He's gonna kill someone.
Exactly.
The fuck?
Hey,
What's,
Texas ain't gonna do the killing,
right.
so the mascot might as well do it.
Ooh, wow.
Who's next?
Who's next, Rafa? You want me to go?
Man. Go ahead, Eddie.
I am going to fire. God, man, I don't know if I should do this.
Go, don't do that shit.
No. I'm just gonna fire Antonio Pierce. I'm gonna fire Antonio Pierce, and we'll get into this a little
This
later.
actually relates with my firing, by the way, which is
Okay,
crazy.
good. So I'll be short and sweet. I get that you don't give a shit about Tom Telesco and what pick we're gonna have next, because you ain't gonna be there next year, man. Okay, but you should not tank if you're a player. You should not tank. That's why you got to coach a little bit different. And Tom Telesco has to pull his guy aside and say, listen, you guys, we've sucked all year. We have been bad all year. Now is not the time to coach your ass off. Now is not the time, because that win did nothing but put the Raiders in a horrific situation. So, AP, be better, man, and lose that game. Lose that game. That's all I have to say. Rafa, go ahead.
My firing is directed at people who think that their teams should tank in the NFL, because the NFL is so cutthroat with the players and the coaches that at the end of the day, there's 53 men on this roster, whatever amount of coaches, 25, 28, 32, whatever the fuck the amount is. They're not guaranteed to be there next year. So don't expect Antonio Pierce to go out there and tank, or any head coach who's at the bottom. Don't expect them to go out there and tank, because they're most of them are athletes. And if you're a head coach or any sort of coach, you're a competitor. You're not going out there to ever lose. That's what the GM up there is thinking. That's what the fans are thinking. Oh, we need to lose this game, blah, blah. Cowboy fans are going crazy because, they didn't tank. I mean, listen, I said this weeks back. The Cowboys don't have a roster that can tank. Their roster is actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
They just need pieces. And so for me, my shit is directed at fans who think their team should tank. Listen, you can tank in baseball because you can pull and you start bringing up starters from the minor leagues to pitch. That's what you can do in baseball. In the NBA, there's a lottery, so it's not really tanking. So, but in the NFL, for you to have these grown-ass men ask them to tank after what they go through a season and in the offseason, put their bodies through ridiculous shit, and you want them to go out there and try and lose a game? Is that even possible?
It is.
Mean, listen, it is not. It is not. And I'll tell you something. If Antonio Pierce was guaranteed that he was the head coach next year, I'm sure he goes out there and the mindset is different. Like, listen, you know what? If I'm guaranteed another year, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fucking go for it in this spot on 4th down when it's fucking 4th and 7 from my fucking 45. Shit like that you can do because, hey, I'm guaranteed my job for next year, but we know he's not coming back. We know after 1 year they're going to fire his ass, and and I told you last week he's going to stick it to the Raiders.
He Lovey Smithed us, man. He Lovey Smithed us. You called it. You called it. Lovey Smithed our ass.
Yeah, and there's 2 games left, and he's a competitor, and he's a hard ass fucking dude.
How about competing from week 1 to fucking 13? How about that?
Listen,
it looked like it looked like you were tanking the first half of the fucking season.
They competed in a lot of games, Eddie. They competed in a lot of games, but listen, and we said this last year when they kept Antonio Pierce before the season, when the last season ended, and they kept him as the new head coach, that it was a job too big for him. He's not an NFL head coach. That's just what it is. So, he didn't do a good job. He didn't do a great job. He didn't do an average fucking job, right? But at the end of the day, he's still trying to win the game. And when you play the Jaguars, who are a little bit worse than you are, and you're at home, you're definitely going to win. So don't expect your NFL teams to tank. Is ridiculous for you to ask grown-ass men who are out there who can fucking die on that field or get hurt and fucking have major issues,
no.
don't expect them to go out there and fucking tank. It's just not
Those
what
are
it is.
facts. Those are facts. Players, a kicker though, little shanky, little
No, the
shanky here, little shanky there.
The head coach, if the head coach is coming back, there's certain things that he can do throughout the game. Maybe not punt
Yes.
here, maybe not kick a field goal, shit like that, like decisions. Maybe not call a timeout when he should to get the ball back, shit like that. But he knows he's not coming back. And it's obvious that he's not coming back. And if you believe that Antonio Pierce is coming back and if the Raiders bring him back, they're just dumber than we think. And so, but we know he's not coming back. So, but at the end of the day, don't expect fucking 53 men who put their bodies through hell for fucking 365 days a year to go out there and tank for fans, fans who think they know. Yes, come on.
A firing approved. That's Michael Brown wants to fire Sean Payton and the OC in the second half debacle. That was a very important game for the Denver Broncos, but that he was at actually. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, man. I don't know if they got too cocky or what, but legit firing for the Broncos in that game. He's also taking a shot at Eddie Money and his cleats.
Oh yeah.
Not those
players.
That's crazy.
So that is your fired, and I'm sure we're gonna get into that a little bit more. But let's hit college football, man. And it wasn't a good day if you were an underdog and a guy who likes points, like myself. I'm Mr. Underdog. I've never seen a point that was given to me that I've never not liked. But let's give Rafa his flowers and his dude.
What?
He said that they didn't deserve that. Now, there's an argument for
Two different flowers to be given here.
Right. These are two different flowers to be given here. Sir.
Indiana had to be there, right? Had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
SMU had to, well, SMU, debatable. They didn't win their conference.
They was there.
But
they were in the conference
They were
championship.
there.
They're in the conference championship, but it was an ugly showing for the first college playoff. It way under-delivered. It was garbaggio.
So
Agree or disagree?
I'll say this, and this is where the nuance comes in because can't be one or the other, right? There's more nuance to this. I agree that going forward, and this is where anybody disagrees with me, but I wouldn't be mad at the fact that if going years forward that we get South Carolina and Ole Miss versus SMU and Indiana, based off of the product that we got this weekend. But to say that South Carolina, who lost to Alabama and Ole Miss, I understand they're hot. They were hot at the end of the season, but to say that they deserve to be in over an 11-1 Big Ten team and a team that made it to their conference championship, I'm sorry, with the system that we have placed in now, we could not allow it. I think going forward, I have no issue with it. Leave out SMU, leave out Clemson, leave out Indiana, no problem. I also think we should expand to 16 because then you get all those teams in regardless. But this year we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
This is the problem with college football, and this is the problem we're going to have with the playoff every year. It doesn't matter if you go to 12 or you go to 16. The problem is this: that you have too many teams in the guy. They don't play. They should be this is what they should do. They should have to play 10 conference games because the conferences are loaded with whatever amount of teams, 15, 16, 18, whatever the fuck the amount is. They should have to play 10 conference games and then play 2 outside games. And I know it's going to hurt the Mercers of the world and UMass who gets money from Georgia and Alabama and all of that. They should have their rivalry game outside, which Alabama doesn't have one because their rivalry game is in the SEC. And so they could play they could play fucking Mercer and UMass and they get money, right? But for a team, let's say South Carolina, their rivalry game is Clemson. Florida, you do Florida State, right? Florida State, Miami, that's an ACC game, right? So those games, you pick the 2 games, rivalry games, outside of the 10 conference ones, unless they're in a conference, then but you should play 10 games inside of your conference, because Indiana got the really soft part of their conference. If you take away some of the games that they played against the shitters outside of their conference and give them a Penn State or an Ohio State or whatever, and this next year they'll have a tougher conference, a tougher schedule. But I think you should do that for every fucking team in every conference. You play 10 conference games since the conferences are so big, and we won't have this problem. It won't be this big of an issue, because I guarantee you, if Indiana had to play Penn State, they'd have 2 losses. There's no doubt about it. If Indiana had to come into Southern California and play USC, probably lose that game as well. That's my take on that part of it.
No, and with revenue sharing next year, hopefully that gets taken care of. There shouldn't be that issue of making, and plus that, that was the worst shit in the world. A directional school state going to Alabama, a spread being 56, knowing you're going to get your teeth kicked in, but hey, we're going to make, $7 million for the program. To me, if you really care, if the health is, if it's about, college athletes and safety, that was bullshit in the first place. So let's not do that.
Dion came out and said when he was at Jacksonville State, why would I do that? Why would I go play Bama and go kill my team?
Yeah.
For a couple $1 million. Like what worth is that? There's no worth in that.
Yeah. And it's not good to watch.
Some of those schools need the money for their program, whether it's UMass or Mercer or Florida International or whatever. They need that money for their football program, which is fine, dandy, wonderful. But at the end of the day, it's affecting the playoff. And the playoff is, since they have the 5 conference winners who get a spot, the conference, it doesn't have to be the Mountain West that's the 5. It doesn't have to be the SEC or the Big Ten or the ACC or whatever. It's the 5, the 5 highest conference winners. So it could be the American. It could be the Sun Belt with an 11-1 team or something if the team gets there. I just think for you to have the best teams possible, it should go to 4 conference winners. That's it. And these guys should have to play 10 conference games. It's that simple, because we should be able to see Alabama against Texas, Indiana against Penn State, Ohio State, Penn State, all those teams. It's going to make for a better season, and at the end, you're going to get a better product. The product we had this weekend was absolute shit. The Indiana Notre Dame game was disgusting.
Well, let's
for 57 minutes.
Let's condense this and not go through every game. Let's just go through all 4 of us. Who was your biggest disappointment? Was it SMU, Indiana, Clemson? What team or what game did you think let you down the most?
It's not even close.
Indiana for me. For me, it's Indiana and SMU.
Indiana.
For me, it's Indiana and SMU. It's 100% Indiana and SMU. And you can have your opinion when your time to speak. But you sat here on the show and you told me that they had the number 1 point differential in the country. They had this, they had that. Their inability to move the ball against Notre Dame. That you said all of that bullshit. Their inability to move the ball against Notre Dame for 57.5 minutes was a huge disappointment. They got an onside. They scored a touchdown late. This, that, whatever. That game wasn't even close. They had zero. There was a zero threat. Okay, zero threat. At halftime, you probably look at 99% that Notre Dame was winning that game. I guarantee it. That live line was probably minus 3,000. There was zero threat to Notre Dame for the first 59 minutes. The only threat was when they were kicking that second onside. Like literally, that game wasn't even close. The game with SMU, quarterback I thought was phenomenal all year long. Made just terrible plays. I mean, he literally cost his team the game because Penn State's offense didn't do shit. They didn't do anything. That defense did it all. And all the points came from the defense, basically. So, and then Tennessee obviously was just god-awful. That was also horrendous to watch. But at halftime, it was 21-10. So at halftime, it was 21-10, and they were getting the ball back in the third quarter. So it's like, okay, if they get a score, you never thought that. You never thought that for Indiana or SMU. Like, you never thought it. It's like, oh, they could get them. No. You've never thought that. Clemson was in the game with Texas there into the fourth, right? So it was still a one-score game. Indiana was never that. SMU was never that. So Tennessee still and Tennessee looked like shit. Awful. Quarterback looked like shit. The only time he was able to make a play was with his feet, realistically. With his arm, he wasn't doing shit. So I know, CJ, you love to hate the SEC, and I'm going to explain something to you because you don't understand. I don't think the history of all of this. So you understand from 1985 to about 2020, the best teams in college basketball were from the ACC. Okay, here and there, the Big East won a title. UCLA won a couple titles. SEC with Kentucky, Big 12 with Kansas. But at the end of the day, the ACC was the best basketball conference on the planet, hands down. It didn't fucking matter. So you understand that whether the Pac-12 was decent last year, whether the Big 10 was good this year, the SEC is still the top dog. You want to dethrone them, you can say whatever you want. But if we look at the last 15 years, SEC will reign. It still is the best conference, whether you like it or not. The best NBA players come from the ACC for the most part. The best NFL players come from the SEC. I don't give a fuck if they were born in California and they played high school in your backyard. They played in the SEC. So get your all you want to do is here and go and hate on Tennessee because that's what you're going to say. They were the most disappointing.
What do you think?
That's what you're going to say. That's what you're going to say.
Rafa, okay. Are you done? Are you done? Did you? Is your fucking monologue? Is it done? Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, so don't cut me off. Remember this. Remember, for the people out there in the world, I didn't cut this motherfucker off one time. All right? So don't cut me off. This man just ignores the fact that last week I agreed with him and said that Notre Dame was going to beat the dog shit out of Indiana. I agreed with him and sat here and said that their schedule all year not playing anybody was going to catch up with them when they played Notre Dame. So don't sit here and say I said point differential and any of that shit. That was Eddie. That was not me. He was the one that said, give me the Hoosiers, not I. Second of all, sir, you sit here and act like the Big Ten is not year in and year out competing with the SEC. Like, what are you talking about? Like, Ohio State has been good for how long? Michigan has been running shit for the last 2 or 3 years. Like, what are you saying? Penn State has been good for how long? If you want to include Oregon in there, since they're the Big Ten now, how long have they been good with Marcus Mariota? How long has USC been good in the last 20 years? Like, don't sit here and give me that shit and sit here and say, the SEC is big and bad. When Rafa, can we say right now that the best 3 teams in the country are all in the Big Ten? Can we? And can we say that the fourth? And can we say that the 4th best team is not in the SEC? Can we sit here and say that?
You can try and say it.
Rush.
You can't ask me a question.
Hold on. I'm still talking here. Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State are not the 3 best teams in the country? Is Notre Dame not the 4th? Can we say that? Can we say that the third best? Can we say that the third best team in the SEC by standings and by rankings and by games played just got their shit ran through by the third Big Ten team by standings and rankings and games played? Can we say that? Is that what happened? I think that the third best SEC team just got their shit ran through by the third best Big Ten team. Just by standings, not by what rosters, not by Vegas, not by lines, by games on the field that have been played. The third Big Ten team you just saw beat the dog shit out of your beloved SEC. Also, let's not forget, how many SEC teams currently sit in the fucking standings? Texas and Georgia? Give me Penn State all day. Give me Penn State all day. Don't sit here and tell me that the SEC this year, and even last year, and even the year before that, have just been this big bad monster. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, listen. So, like I just told you, for the last 35 years, the ACC has been the best team in basketball. When you look at football, since the playoffs started, please name me the national champions, CJ. Please name me the national champions.
But we're
go down the list of the national champions.
2024.
No. Dude, listen, I just explained to you the Big East with UConn a couple times, with Syracuse, Kentucky, Kansas, and the Big 12 and the SEC a couple of times. I'm sorry to tell you. Last year, Michigan won. Bama, Georgia, Bama, Georgia. That's what it was. And that's what it is. You want to sit here and say the third best team in the standings? Listen, I explained this shit to you last week, whether you want to believe it or not. Ohio State is favored against Oregon at the Rose Bowl. That makes them the best team in the fucking Big Ten, whether you want to believe it or not. Vegas is never wrong. All right. And you admitted it last week. They're never wrong. Okay. When they put out a line, they're accurate as fuck. Oh, they're pretty fucking close. That's why they got the bright lights and the big casinos. That's why. It's not because they're wrong. It's because they're right most of the time. Ohio State is favored against the number one team on the planet, according to you. And Ohio State's favored. Last week on this show, I told you that Ohio State was going to whoop Tennessee's ass. And you, because you're a fucking homer with your quarterback from your backyard.
I'm the homer.
I took Tennessee.
I'm
not
the
a
homer.
I'm realistic. When
I'm
I look
the
at the
homer.
SEC, the SEC in the last 10 years has more national championships than every other conference combined.
Factual.
That's a fact.
Factual.
Combined. So you have this
Alabama
one bright
and
year.
Georgia.
It doesn't matter. You have this one bright year. And it's not even over. The shit ain't over. And you're sitting here, the four best teams. Well, Georgia's number 2. I know you don't like it, but Georgia is number 2. So the four best teams.
Number 2
I'm sorry.
Because of Georgia's number 2 because of how the structure is ranked.
Georgia, yeah. Georgia's not the second best team.
Georgia, at the end of the rank, what did they rank Georgia? What did they rank Georgia? What did they rank Georgia?
Because of how
ideologically
dishonest.
Clemson was ranked 15th. What is Georgia ranked? In the rankings before they made the playoffs.
Why are they ranked that way, Rafa? Are they the number 2 team?
Clemson was 15. Clemson was 15.
The number 2 team in the country?
Clemson was 15. Is Georgia number 2?
I think Georgia's the second best team.
I think Georgia's the best team in the country. That's my opinion. Actually, I'm going to say number 2. Ohio State's number 1. But I have Ohio State and Georgia. But listen, I'm just real quick. It's history of the last 10 years, CJ. It ain't today. Every squirrel has his nut. Listen, a broken clock's right twice a day. This might be the Big Ten's year, but the shit ain't over.
By your ideology, Alabama should be in the playoff. They should be winning. They should be somewhere in this mix, but they're not because this is 2024 and it's a completely different year. So your historical context doesn't mean shit because SMU and Texas A&M and Texas and conference realignment, like, get the fuck out of here. Let's move on, though. Jesus Christ.
Okay. That's your opinion because you tend to forget
where
where the best players live. It's one season, CJ.
The best players live in California, but they play in the SEC.
In the where? Exactly. That's it. I don't give a fuck where they live.
Yeah, but you see
that's
how I just
thing that you
the
can
truth about reality? It would take a lot
CJ,
for you to say that Tennessee just got their ass beat by the
Tennessee sucks. I think they're terrible.
They're in the SEC and they're a top 3 team in the SEC.
Dude, I don't want to hear the standings, CJ. I don't want to hear the standings. Not everyone played the same teams. You had Texas A&M going, Texas A&M is number 1 in the SEC. While they were ranked 15.
Tennessee played a real schedule.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And they had to go on the road. And Ohio State tapped that ass because Ohio State's superior program, better head coach, better quarterback, better fucking everything. Well, garbage ass quarterback from where? Your backyard.
Warren High School, man, right down the street. And by the way, can you give him some kind of fucking credit? The guy, I mean, in the first drive, almost got his head bashed in. Not almost. Did you see
his helmet cracked?
His helmet literally cracked.
For that kid to stand in there. And by the way, Rafa, he has a rocket launcher for an arm. Whether
this is his first year starting,
whether it's accurate or not, the kid, he's a baller. He showed toughness. But Mike Brown said Indiana. I agree, especially with Cignetti coming out and talking his shit. Indiana 100% was the team that let me down. And Eddie, real quick, who let you down?
I thought it was Indiana. I thought it was the only game where the underdog had a chance.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to next week. And what are we looking forward to? What's your best matchup?
Before we get into it, Michael Brown just wanted to say CJ and Rafa both can't be wrong. These are the wrong two people to debate each other.
Good point. We're trying to condense college and NFL. We're trying. Yeah, we can let you guys just go in a padded room.
Yeah.
Luke said Rafa knows a lot about nuts.
Lucas. Oh,
Lucas.
what's up, Lucas? How you
Lucas,
doing,
Where's
man?
Michigan and
Fucking
Michigan
dork.
State, Luke?
He doesn't know because he went to one
sucking on these
school and
nuts.
cheers for another. He doesn't know what's going on because his name is Lucas.
Very
Bro,
confusing.
Bro, how can a guy like that even comment in this shit?
Right, you're banned. I should
Hey,
kick you from the fucking comment section.
Bro, how do you go to Michigan State and cheer for Michigan? Bro,
Like,
Proudly,
fuck?
so proudly.
what the
proudly too.
How?
Proudly too.
And
He
wear
loves
Michigan,
everything.
Michigan hats, Michigan gear.
Like, pure fact.
Yeah. I'm sure he likes UCLA and USC too, because they're in the same state.
Yes, you're right. 100%.
But yeah, let's move on. I mean, I'll start it off. The game to me is
The only game.
the only game, the national championship,
The game.
and probably the most historic place to play a college football game in the Rose Bowl. They do a phenomenal job. I'm stealing your word, Rafa. Phenomenal job of dressing up that stadium and making it look amazing. Because if you go there during a UCLA game versus anyone else, that shit is garbage. Bench seats,
bad.
sideline sucks.
So bad.
But the committees do just the most incredible job of making that place look phenomenal. You're gonna have Oregon. There's gonna be marijuana in the air, all the Oregon people, and you're gonna have a shit ton of Ohio State people because it's
Oregon people they got heavier hitters than the marijuana. They coming from where you can bring anything.
Oh, they're slamming H in the bathrooms or what?
Mm-hmm. Steaming hot pipes is ready.
And then Ohio, one of the biggest college followings in the country. It's fucking, minus 13 degrees. Why not come to South Pasadena and represent? And it's going to be a fabulous game. To me, this game is a national championship.
Yes.
I think these are the two best teams in the country. And luckily, hopefully Ohio State starts feeling themselves again, because it made perfect sense, Rafa, why Ohio State came out with their hair on fire and put the fuck to them, as you would say.
No doubt about it. Best team
Because
in
they're
the land.
winning the national championship. That's why.
They're the best team in the country. It's no doubt about it. They just got to put it together. And they put it together one game. Let's see if we could see it again. And I think we will. And I thought early in the year after they lost to Oregon, I thought they would beat Oregon in the Big Ten title game. Obviously, they couldn't beat fucking Luke's Michigan. Oh, wait. No, that's Michigan State. So
It's both.
but yeah. So, but the way they played on Saturday night, bro, they looked phenomenal. I mean, it is. That's what that team should look like. That's what it's built for.
Listen,
it's built for that.
They had the perfect beginning to that game. Okay.
Yeah, 5 plays, 75 yards.
Tennessee cannot, number 6, the running back was hurt. They can't play from behind. They have to be defense, run the ball, and Ohio State was just too ready. And that defensive line, woo, man, Dylan Gabriel better have his Grinch. Are they wearing the Grinches?
Yes, they're actually getting custom. They're getting custom Kobe 6s.
That's right.
Yeah, they are. I saw them.
They're beautiful. Don't be surprised if I leave that stadium with a pair.
Are you going to the game?
Maybe, potentially. Me and CJ are in the
Well,
works.
you got to dress like that. I mean, you got to.
Why? I'm rooting for Ohio State.
He ain't gonna be walking next to me.
I'm rooting for Ohio State, baby. Come on.
Me too. Go Buckeyes.
All right.
Fuck y'all.
Does Arizona State have a chance? Do they got
Yes, that's my game. That is the game that I am looking most forward to, because the Scatterboo, however you say his name, Scatterboo, and that fucking offense, man, if everybody's healthy and if everybody's good to go, I really think ASU is live. Whatever the spread is, I really think they're live, because Texas,
14.
It's
twin
14.
viewers, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot to give fucking ASU. And this is coming from somebody who don't gamble, don't know shit about it. Like, that's a lot. So if I'm saying it's a lot, it's like gargantuous. And so I think that ASU really has a chance here. Quentin Ewers, we saw him take a step, but I still don't think it's enough. Like, his performance wasn't enough for them to win a national championship. And I think if he plays in a similar way, what we did see though, and I'll end on this, we saw Texas say that they were not going to let ASU run the ball. Like, they did not let Clemson's run game get off at all. So I think if they came with that same type of energy, it's going to be a problem.
I'll say this really quick. Texas made Clemson look slow. What are they going to do to Arizona State? I mean, on both sides of the ball, Texas looks superior speed-wise. And my God, Texas really, that was the one game I agreed with Rafa, that they just really popped off the TV, the screen, and they just looked like they're at a different level. I know Clemson made a game of it, but in the first half, Rafa, that didn't look like a game. In the third quarter, they made it a game. But
Yeah, it
in
was
the first half,
21-7 at halftime.
yeah, I thought Texas was just going to run away with it.
Well, Clemson
That
came out, had a great first drive.
Clemson
Was that anybody?
Clemson doesn't have the talented running back from California, Cam Scatterbo, leading that team. Give him 30 carries, he'll average 5.
But here's the thing: what Scatterbo is, he's a great yards after contact.
Yeah.
The speed of defense. I think Texas statistically had the best defense in the country, and
Yeah, but we all know Ohio State really has the best defense in the country.
Oh, that's 100%. That is debatable for sure. I mean, it's very hard to argue that. Very hard to argue that. But I'm an underdog guy. I'll be rooting for Arizona State.
Yes.
But I would
If
most
Arizona
likely.
State fucking beats Texas, Rafa's phone will not ever fucking stop ringing, because I will light it the fuck up for the next 2 years. I will light it the fuck up for the next 2. If Arizona State, if Scatterbo fucking beats Texas, Rafa, you will hate me. You're gonna hate me.
Listen, CJ, I already hate you.
Too late.
Oh man, no, dude, I think we saw in the first round, man, and the first round is. I want to go back to the first round real quick. I think the first round, this is what it's going to be like. I think every year, it's going to look like this. These teams are at home, and with weeks to prepare, the better head coaches, and I think that's what it's going to. And I think this is going to be that game too. I think Texas is. Arizona State, I think, is the toughest team in the playoff. I really do. I think they're the toughest team. They're just a tough, hard-nosed fucking team, coach, the whole fucking bit. But dude, this is a big time program, baby. It's a big time thing, CJ. So I don't. This is the biggest. This is one of the big boys against Arizona State. I think the moment might be too big for Arizona State. I really believe that. I think Texas is going to win this game by double digits. I don't know if they cover the 14, but I think they win by at least 10. But it's going to be a phenomenal game to kick off the day, 10 a.m. I mean, it's going to be beautiful.
Give me the Sun Devils. Pack them.
Woo!
Yeah, 14 is too much. 14 is way too much for me.
Forks up.
By the way,
Forks up.
if you guys want to watch those games, we can all watch them all here all day.
Hey, player, you done got me signed, sealed, delivered. You done written it down for me. I'll be there, cuz.
10 a.m.
I'll be
10
there.
a.m. If you want to do it,
nickel.
if you want to do it, I mean, we can do it here at my house, Ed. If you guys want to come, we can watch the games here. We got 4 games. And by the way, I just want to
all Two Nobodies, everybody that watches Two Nobodies can
everybody who watches the show, if you're in LA.
Except for Luke. I'm sorry, Luke, you're fucking not invited.
Yeah.
Oh no, Luke's gonna show up in a Michigan State shirt, but with yellow and maize and blue.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a pardon, but maize and blue.
Knowing him, he'll probably root for Ohio State on that day too. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Of course he will. Of course, 100% he will. But
that's a good.
No,
one.
The best game, in my opinion, is like Eddie said, Oregon, Ohio State. I mean, that is the best matchup. We can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
So
you said it.
Can I say this before we get off of college football? it was incredible. I don't know if you guys saw the build up to the Ohio State Tennessee game, but they showed the band. They showed the
Oh yes,
field for a half an hour,
yeah.
and they did close-ups on these band members that were seniors. They were in tears. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I didn't get the college experience. My son at UNC, it's such a special thing. It is nothing like the NFL. And if you're a romantic or if you're passionate about something,
Yes.
college football is so it's just a better experience than the NFL. And it's because of the passion, the history, and the pageantry. I mean, to see those kids, the dotting of the I, when Florida State throws a spear on the 50-yard line, when SC draws the sword. It's just how can you not love this? It was a great weekend, even though they're all blowouts. It was great to see playoff games
Yes.
in home stadiums. That I hope they don't change. That I hope continues. And whether the games were good or not, man, I enjoyed watching fans and seniors knowing that this will be their last game on their home field. It's such a cool and unique, really unique thing because NFL, who gives a shit? Guys are playing for their next job they're going to go to a in-state rivalry.
Yeah, so I saw these TikToks where it's like these Swedish people, it's like Swedish people and German people, and they're turning on the games and they're like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, this is the coolest shit ever. What is going on? They don't understand it. I think, and I disagree with Rafa's point earlier, I don't think every year is going to be like this because I think the committee is going to make the decision to give the fans what they want. And we're not going to see the Clemsons and SMUs of the world or the ASUs or Boise States in anymore. I think we're going to get the Alabamas and Ole Misses. We're not going to have that argument. I think that happens next year. Like I literally think they change it next year. And I think in the years to come, I think they do bring it to 16 because with 16 this year, we see Army, we see Alabama, we see Ole Miss. We get a chance of seeing those teams that we really wanted them to get a shot, but just couldn't pull through in the end. I do think it'll be different.
By the way,
Any
haven't
last words,
covered
Rafa?
Yeah, so we're doing another show next Monday, I would assume, because of New Year's Eve and
Yeah.
So we can cover the games more next week, but we got to get into that Georgia Notre Dame game. Lions only won, so that's also going to be an amazing game to watch. So we will get into those next week.
Notre Dame.
I think that game's good.
For me, that's gonna be like watching the evil empire of Star Wars go against the Klingons of fucking Star Trek. Like, I hope both you motherfuckers
lose.
0-0. I hope both you motherfuckers lose. Why does it have to be a winner if there's two bad guys?
That one's going to be a game. And real quick, on the committee, the scheduling, I know the Rose Bowl game has to kick at 2:00 or 2:30 because of the way the sun sits on the mountain and the whole Rose Bowl feel and
the stealth bomber, bomber.
B2, baby.
Dude, I wish that next year when they got to this day, if they can have a 9 a.m. kickoff and then a 12:30 and then move that Rose Bowl game to maybe 3:30, because we're going to have a 2:30 kick or a 2:00 kick and then a 4:00 on the West Coast or 4:30 and then a 4:45. So we're going to have like literally one game barely ending. And if it goes into overtime, which Oregon and Ohio State very well can, we're going to have two kickoffs going on at the same time. It's going to be a shit show. I mean, listen, I'm here for it, but I'd like to space them out so each.
Yeah, we want to see one game at a time so we can digest
everything.
His apple martinis, man. That's why.
Yeah, Rafa, I agree with you 100%. Before I log off because I got to run. They need to stagger those damn games. I want to see one game and then another, and then another, and then another. I don't need two games on at the same time.
Yeah.
Actual.
So, but that's tough to do with Rose Bowl. So,
yeah.
But anyways, so next week we'll cover the games in depth.
And when's the last time you've seen a bad Rose Bowl? It's really hard, dude. They're just, it's like they have a they sold their soul, the committee, to the devil, because that shit's always fire. That game is almost always really good. So,
For
but
the most
that's
part, yes.
CJ. Are you peace out? You're out? Thank you,
in, I'm
CJ. That is your college football segment
Later, bud.
of the show. Yeah, appreciate you. Love your passion. Love your passion. And I sorry I didn't give you the proper introduction of the 2-time state champion, 1-time
No,
national champion.
it's okay. We don't need that every time.
All right,
Fuck,
CJ.
I watched
Thank
the
you.
last episode, and Rafa goes, "Why the fuck you need a whole monologue?"
Hey,
To
dude,
introduce this man.
I'm not lying. If I had those accolades, I'd want someone to remind everyone.
All right, so let's get into the good some more good stuff. The NFL,
Michael Brisnick, yes, the
right?
NFL.
Yes,
And Michael Brown.
All of a sudden, Michael Brown cares about the NFL now.
All of a sudden, he
Well,
pushes
listen,
for the
when
NFL talk.
Dude, when your team is relevant, when you didn't expect them to be this good, and nobody did. I for sure fucking never thought they would, because I
gonna
dislike
cost you
Sean
money.
Payton, and which will be an enjoyable time because I like Michael Brown. So if I had to
do?
take CJ, it'd be different. Yeah, I like Michael Brown. If I had to take CJ to Michael's all those times, I wouldn't enjoy it. But taking Michael Brown is going to be very enjoyable. So I will gladly play that bet.
He said Mike get mercury poison from Marcos.
That's how much sushi he's gonna have in a fucking 2-week span. But yeah, a heartbreak game for the Broncos there to blow that lead there last Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chargers at home, they did what they had to do. I mean, the race. I wish the playoff race was a little tighter than what it is, because the Chargers, I think, win one game and they're in, and everyone else is screwed. And the Broncos need to win one game. Yeah, so the Broncos and Chargers both need to win one game.
The main spot that's open is the 7th seed in the AFC, which we'll get into right now. Basically, playoff talk. So AFC Chargers, essentially, if they win this week, they have a 94% chance of staying and locking up that 6th seed. The Broncos at the 7th seed, though, they still it's majority them, but in a still weird, insane possibility, Broncos can still get kicked out by either the Colts, Dolphins, or Bengals. So
well, no, but the Broncos one win they're in, as the Chargers.
Yes,
because they both sit at 9. They're at 9 and 5, 9 and 6, right? And the other teams are 7.
One win.
Yeah, one win.
And they're all tough, because Bengals have a crazy outside chance of getting in.
Oh, yeah, the Bengals. That's Bengals in Denver this week, right? That's the game of the week.
Yes, that's on our talking point today.
Colts looked good. I know they played Tennessee.
Wow,
we got a Raider fan.
Raiders fan watching from Guam.
Hey, what's up, Raiders, baby? Here, hold on. Let me show. There we go, Papa. I feel your pain. But thank you.
A whole lot of pain.
Watching. Yes, a whole lot of pain. So,
Matthew, the Bengals have a really low percentage, but you never know. It's the NFL.
Dude, think about all those close games that the Bengals had.
Yeah.
And to put that in position, I saw something, I forget, you know what it was? Orlovsky said, what if, we all gave the MVP to Josh Allen 2 weeks ago, and he 100% deserves it. But what if the Bengals did get in? And you look at the numbers that Joe Burrow has put up, does he deserve?
No, his numbers are insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if the Bengals somehow sneak a way in, does he get the MVP?
So who do they have left, Eddie Money? Let's go through the Bengals' remaining schedule.
Okay, give me a second.
And we know it's Broncos, right away.
Yes.
Which, man, they should.
So the Bengals have the Broncos and the Steelers, and they're playing the Steelers at Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh's been struggling, no? Or just
no? They've struggled the last 2 games. Their offense has struggled. George Pickens getting hurt and all that, and Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. So there's that. By the way, since pillaging just for fun says I'm numb to the pain. It's been 38 years of this. I'm numb to the pain.
I know. Yeah, when he gave me this Raider tattoo, I didn't feel anything. I was like, "Are you even fucking tattooing to me?" Yeah, I am numb. I am numb from the neck down, man. This is something
Listen.
that.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, this is something that Raider fans like. Did you ever doubt what's his name? Pillaging for just for fun. Did you have any doubt that the Raiders would win this game? It just makes perfect sense, did it not? Like, this is something that we have been.
That's such a Raider win.
It is, man. It's tough. That's why you got to give Raider fans a lot of credit, because it's no longer silver and black. We're tough. Cholos don't wear Raider shit anymore. They wear 49ers. Oh, facts. Facts. Cholos wear 49er gear and Dallas gear. Yes or yes, Rafa? Yes or yes?
Yes and yes. So
thank you.
Yes and yes. By the way, with the Raiders moving down to the 6th pick right now, and this is a crazy idea, but this was my idea for last year for the Raiders. And if you watch this show, you know that I'm not a Raider fan. I'm not a fan of any team. Hence all the jerseys I have here. There's all different teams. And so, but the Raiders moving down to the 6th pick brings back to my idea of last year of the Raiders maybe getting Justin Fields. Why not make a move for Justin Fields, who started the season 3-1 in Pittsburgh and shouldn't have been benched, but he was, and it worked out for Tomlin. What do you think about that, Raider fans? Justin Fields to the Raiders.
Well, since I'm a Raider fan, I will give you my opinion. I don't think you mortgage. You got to pray that somehow you end up in the top two picks again. I agree, Rafa. I think now you are in bridge quarterback mode. You need a bridge, and I hate to say this, whether it's Kirk Cousins, whether it's Sam Darnold, whether it's Justin Fields. Yeah, those are long
bridges. Are big.
They are.
It's cost a lot of money to build that bridge with those two guys, but not for Justin Fields.
True. But you're not starting, and I said this before. Even if you were to get Shador or Cam, you have to be patient, and you got to sort of do what Atlanta did. You got to put someone in there. How about Joe Flacco? How about Joe fucking Flacco? I'm dead serious, man. I'm dead serious. Go get the best available. My brother-in-law, because I get it all the time. Yesterday we had like an early Christmas. He's like, "What's up with the Raiders? What do you do?" He goes, "Quarterback ain't your issue, Eddie." He goes, "A quarterback is not going to fix your problems," which, pillaging just for fun. It's true. It's true.
Thank you, Michael Brown. What the hell is Joe Flacco good? I'd rather just have AOC start another year.
No.
He will.
Or he might do that. Quarterback doesn't fix your problem. This is why I love the Jim Harbaugh hire so much. He knows how to build a team. You build it from the inside out. Center, guard, tackle.
It's easy to do, Eddie, when you have a fucking quarterback already.
You have a top 10 quarterback.
It's simple when you have a quarterback already. It's very easy. When he went in, he took the job with a team that already had an elite quarterback or a top 10 guy. Of course, it was easy for him. So Michael Brown says I start at the owner.
He said we need 10 other replacements.
No. You build this team from the inside out. I don't know. I'm going to be dead honest with you, and this is weird coming from a fan, of over 38 years, like some 40 something. I'm Raider tattooed up, but I feel like the Raiders don't have the stomach to try to have another just dog shit season again. I don't think they have the stomach for it, so they're gonna.
They've had the stomach for like 15 years.
I know, Rafa, but
that wasn't on purpose though. It was on accident.
Yes.
Oh, it was the Angels. It was the Angels of Anaheim.
Yes.
It was the California
they were trying. They were trying. They were trying to win.
Bad.
The good thing is about the NFL that all the teams try. That's the good thing.
But listen, Rafa, look at the Jets with top defenders. You have Mobley, you have Sauce Gardner, you have one of the best defensive tackles. You have Williams. You have Devontae Adams. To me, that is a bigger shit show than the Raiders. It is a bigger shit show because you actually had the fucking talent to do something. Raiders,
but they didn't have a head coach. Well, the Raiders don't have a head coach
Yeah.
either. They don't have receivers. They don't have a lot of shit. They don't have a lot of shit. The Raiders don't have a lot. The Raiders need, like Michael Brown said, fucking dude, the Raiders probably need 41 players.
So
Like,
this is pillaging just for fun. Brought this up, so I'll bring it up. Probably the biggest social media guy, Chat Sports, that they cover all the teams, a big company out of Austin out of Dallas. Mitchell Renz, he had a report today that he has a lot of insiders that if the Raiders weren't in the market or in the running to go get either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, that they like Dylan Gabriel. And Dylan Gabriel,
all 5'10" of him.
Do I listen? I agree, Rafa. I'm a sucker for 6'4", 220
and pure chocolate. Eddie's a sucker for 6'4", 225 and pure chocolate. That's what Eddie wants.
Yes, Lisa Leslie.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to mortgage. I don't want to mortgage the future. If Tom Brady thinks that Dylan Gabriel, I mean, you love Russell Wilson, Papa.
That Russell Wilson
also won a Super Bowl.
Oh, wait. I like Russell Wilson coming in, but the difference with Russell Wilson was a baseball player. It's a different mindset, Eddie. Just the truth, whether people want to admit it or not. His mindset is a little bit more advanced than other guys.
Because of baseball?
That's true. Yes. 100%.
Can you connect the dots here? Because
100%. 100%. I'm sorry. It's just
I'm asking you to connect the two things. Like, how would
I can't do it. I can't do it on the show. I can't do it on the show.
Oh,
I can't do it on the show. I can't do it on the show.
All right.
Our Guam supporter said our biggest problem is an OC and a better head coach. QB is second or third, and he also said that Joe Montana was under 6 foot, Russ and Breeze under 6 foot.
Breeze was also Breeze and Montana had cannons.
No. Joe Montana was a big dude.
Yeah, I think Joe might have been 6'1" or 6'2".
No, Joe was 6'3". We saw him one time. Joe Montana was actually shockingly a large human being.
6'2". He's 6'2".
So Dylan Gabriel's too small for the NFL. Like, he really is. He doesn't have an overpowering arm. He's not quick. Like, it's just too many.
Wait, time out. Are we talking about Brock Purdy or are we talking about Dylan?
Oh, man. No, we're not done this again,
Eddie. Talking about Dylan Gabriel. By the way, since we're on the go ahead.
Yeah, talk about it. No, because we're going
No, I wasn't going into Brock Purdy. I'm going into the quarter because we're talking about quarterbacks.
Yes.
I do, dude. It bugs me for a team like the Eagles, who have a certain system that they run, right?
Yes.
And because you're running a certain style of offense, how do you not have the backup quarterback to be that same style, to run the exact same system, the same style? Like, they had Mariota the year before, and now they go out and get Pickett. And when you see the difference, Pickett coming in the game, that's not what the offense that you run is. You have to pretty much change your offense. People are going to say, oh, the Colts and AR-15 and Joe Flacco. That was early in the year, and it was a lot easier to change. You've had this system at Philadelphia for now a handful of years, a system that took you to the Super Bowl, a system that is 12-3, a system that last year was a stellar team for the first 11 or 12 weeks of the season. That is the system that you run. For you not to have a backup that runs that similar system, whether it's, Justin Fields was not a guy you could go out and get right now. You could have maybe got him before you got Kenny Pickett. Bring Mariota back, someone with that style. But you went out and got a fucking guy who's not even close to the style as your back, and he clearly cost you a game where he was up 14 points. And you could say it wasn't him; it was the defense who couldn't make a play or whatever. listen, at the end of the day, when he came in the game, the offense completely changed. Saquon came in and hit a home run. But after that, still, like, it wasn't. And I know Devontae dropped the pass, and that's the second time that they've dropped the pass there in the fourth quarter to pretty much, put a game away. First time with Saquon and now Devontae. So I know you can't change that, but still, I would have a guy who runs my same system as my backup. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Like when the
for
Ravens
an NFL
had
team.
Huntley as their backup when Lamar got
Yeah,
hurt,
and they had
he was able to
Tyrod
run it
before
perfectly.
that. And they
Yeah,
had
it's perfect.
Tyrod. Yeah, it's the same style of quarterback that you can have. So, I mean, that's just my take on the quarterback. And then going on to Brock Purdy, I mean, listen, that's a terrible throw there. It's been awful to watch the Niners. It's been disgusting to watch. It's been horrendous. I'm disgusted.
Tiny hands Purdy. Tiny hands Purdy.
Oh, man.
I know. Derek Carr had tiny ass hands. Dude fumbled if you fucking growled at him too hard.
Well, we talked about last week's games, and now we can head on to this week's games. We have 2 Christmas Day games that will be on Netflix this year.
You know that
Starting
shit gonna
off-
go bad, man.
That shit
You
is
know-
gonna fucking
Netflix about to crash. That shit's gonna be garbage.
yeah, it's gonna be terrible. But the same 4 teams that played on Saturday will be playing on Christmas. So we have the Chiefs going into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Chiefs are actually favored by 2.5 with the over/under of 43.5.
Let me go first.
How good are the Chiefs?
Let me go
Go ahead,
first,
Eddie.
Rafa.
Go
Let me
ahead.
go first. Because I was, I said it last week. I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was a mistake to start Mahomes. I thought that CJ Stroud would struggle against this defense. He once again, motherfucking Happy Feet. If you ever seen Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2, that's CJ Stroud, man. He's that offensive line struggles. They're struggling. They struggle to run the ball. I thought they could have beat the Texans with Carson Wentz. That being said, Mahomes came out, did what he had to do. He looked good. And I just want to give my props, and there's no backhanded compliments here. That defense is incredible. Chris Jones is incredible. And Patrick Mahomes, if he wasn't 100%, man, the NFL needs to be scared. Because, if you asked me 3 weeks ago, I'm like, 1 week in the playoffs and they're done. I don't know, man. Now I'm not so fucking sure. And everyone knows I can't stand the Chiefs, but they're putting themselves in a position to make a run. And if you asked me that 2 weeks ago, I would have told you, hell no, this team, they ain't it. So that's my 2 cents.
Man, how good are the Chiefs, bro? Dude, it's just they're so good because you watch the first half of the game, and the defense and the Chiefs defense is struggling a little bit, and the game's, it's 10-7. And this is what I explained to you guys week in and week out. Like the Chiefs, they play to the rhythm of the game. They're not going to be the Chiefs that are going to put up 30 plus anymore and win games 35-10. That's not that they're not doing that. Like you clearly see it. But in that first half, when they're down 10-7, Chiefs get the ball, go down and score. It's like they needed a score, they got it. It's like that's what they do. They could have scored 30 in that game. They could have. But it wasn't the need for it. They didn't need to.
Do you see the scheme, Rafa? It blows me away. Put your fastest guy in motion. Fucking no one gets their ball out of their hand is faster than Patrick Mahomes. You get number one in space. Like Patrick Mahomes and the scheme, they spread you out, they make you cover the whole field, and then when you try to go wide on them, who's fucking sitting there in the middle of the field, unfucking covered?
Travis Kelce or
Travis Kelce,
Watson,
man,
or whoever any of those tight ends are.
Fucking Andy Reid, fucking dorky ass fucking Andy Reid in the stupid commercials. Hey, dude, we know it wasn't Eric Bieniemy now, right? We know it wasn't Eric Bieniemy that was fucking scheming all the fucking mastermind fucking plays. It's fucking Andy Reid. And I'm giving credit to Patrick Mahomes as well. But scheme-wise, dude, they just know what the fuck they're doing. They really do.
I feel like Mahomes head like the earpiece inside the helmet. Like I don't think it's I feel like it never turns off because he always knows where the open dude is at.
Big scramble,
It's like
Andy Reid's like, hey,
Dude.
Yeah. Kelsey,
Let's
middle.
fast.
It feels like the motherfucker's always on because he just knows where the dude is at. The Chiefs are phenomenal. It wouldn't surprise me if they won this year. I thought it was going to be the Bills and the Ravens, the AFC title game. After watching the Chiefs, people can say I'm a Mahomes homer. I feel like he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. I'm sorry, Tom Brady. That's my opinion. And it is what it is. But the Chiefs are rolling, going into Pittsburgh this weekend or on Wednesday morning. I don't like it. I don't like the game. Steelers scare me for whatever reason. They've had
you're a
Steeler,
you're
games.
a Mike Tomlin. These are your two homers going against each other. Mahomes.
Yeah, man. I like
and
Mike
Tomlin.
I like Mike Tomlin. I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's the second best head coach. But he's facing the best head coach in the NFL and the best quarterback in the league. So it's gonna be a tough matchup. I kind of like under, like 43 or whatever the total is. What's the total?
43.5. I do too.
Yeah, somewhere in there because George Pickens, I don't think is playing for Pittsburgh. The Chiefs don't care to score just enough to win the game. So I think I'm more interested. I'm more excited about the other matchup, to be honest with you, on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Are they considering maybe sitting Mahomes out now, or it's full board?
I don't
still?
think this week. I don't think this week, because they would still need to win one more. They're 2 games up on Buffalo, so I think if they win this game, then he'll sit week 17. But as of now, Buffalo's 2 games back, and they hold the tiebreaker, so you can't afford to lose this week.
Enough said. What else we got, Eddie Money?
Pillaging says, I hope the Chiefs lose their first playoff game.
Oh, me and you, Papa. Me and you. All the way from Downey to Guam.
The second game on Christmas Day, though, another banger, hopefully. Ravens favored by 5 points going into Texas to play the Houston Texans over under 46.5.
Now, what does this line tell you about how good the Ravens are?
That was my exact thought.
Dude, when you look at Vegas power rankings, and I haven't looked them up in a while, but this game tells me that the Ravens have to be number 2 or 3 in their power rankings. Mm-hmm. For you to favor them by 5 on the road, in going against the Texans team, who I thought, and if the Colts were any better or the Jags even fucking knew how to play football, would be struggling to get in here into these playoffs. I think the Texans have underachieved, and I think they're going to be under on their win total more than likely. And yes, they're winning the AFC South or whatever. I think that's by fucking default that the division has been that bad. But Eddie said it earlier. Stroud struggled in the pocket. He looks scared. He doesn't look as confident as he did last year. And I think last year, it was a different mindset. He's a rookie. I'm just going to go out and fucking chuck it and do this and that and fuck it. My bumps and bruises, I'm a rookie. But after having that stellar rookie season, which was phenomenal, is what it was, to now have this season where he's kind of taken a step back, we could say. So I love the Ravens.
How funny is it now to look back? And I don't know if it was week 1 or week 2. How funny is it now where CJ Stroud goes up to Caleb Williams like he was the master? Like he had everything figured out. Bro, like don't worry about.
Have you seen the numbers since that game? I think it was week 3 or 2, 3, 4. Dude, the numbers, like Caleb, I think has thrown 1 interception since then. Somebody posted. I saw it through Instagram. Who knows how accurate?
Yeah.
But
he really. Just when you think you got this shit figured out, man, you do not. The NFL is unforgiving.
By the way, the Ravens are number 3 in Vegas rankings, according to the betting market. Like number 1 is the Detroit, number 2 is Buffalo, 3 is Baltimore, and 4 is Green Bay.
If they get their defense together, their defensive backfield together, man, that's been their Achilles heel. And I mean, I know your narrative is that fucking Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball, but my God, dude, I
He
mean,
can throw the ball.
that I'll take a quarterback on my team that can't throw the ball like Lamar
If that's what it looks
Jackson.
like. If that's what it
That's
looks
what it
like.
looks like.
You know what I mean. You know what I
Sign
mean.
me up. Sign me
Look,
up.
When you look at that game, also, by the way, I think Derrick Henry at halftime had 13 carries already. Like that's what's going to make Lamar a better thrower is when that is going, and because then now the defense is sitting a lot different, right? Because you have that threat of Lamar running the ball and Derrick Henry, who's fantastic in the backfield.
You got to
And
keep
that's
some
what-
players in the box and for every single snap.
Yes, and when you keep in that 7-man box in there, it opens up a whole lot. You got speedy guys on the outside. You got a wonderful tight end in Mark Andrews, a great second tight end in Isaiah Likely. Like the Ravens, I love the Ravens. I thought they were going to be the best team in the AFC, and I still think they can be. I still think they can win the AFC. But we'll see what happens with Buffalo and obviously KC and their black magic, as Eddie likes to say. But
Santeria.
yes,
Santeria.
I love the Ravens on Christmas Day. I think they're going to win that game. I think they're just phenomenal, and they have a chance they still have a chance at the AFC North. So
They do.
that's not a foregone conclusion. So
How
they
good
still
is
got
that?
a chance.
Yeah, they do.
You
They're
guys-
both 10-5.
You guys
Yeah,
still
so
haven't
that
watched.
lock it up.
You guys still haven't watched the show on HBO about the AFC North. have
I've
you?
seen it. I've seen it here and there. I've seen it. My brother
Oh.
watches it. I saw the episode where they went to Joey
It's-
Porter's house.
It's so good. It's so good. It's like being behind the scenes, man. It gives you really good appreciation for all these guys, even the ones that suck.
And then another big game of the week. The Packers will be facing the Vikings. Vikings are actually favored at home by 1.5 currently with the line. Packers still have to play tonight, but this is the line set in Vegas with an over/under of 48.5.
I have one
When?
question.
Go ahead.
When are you going to apologize to Sam Darnold?
I was going to do it. I was going to do it tonight. I was going to do it tonight.
Okay, but I'll give you
Because
full screen.
I was going to do it tonight because I saw Sam Darnold make a throw in that fourth quarter. That throw, he stepped in the pocket and he made a throw over the corner in between the safety. I mean, yes, it was to the best receiver in the league, but still, I mean, it was a hell of a throw. He stepped up in the pocket. It was against those piece of shit Seattle Seahawks in that piece of shit state and city. So I loved every moment of it. I mean, listen, if Sam Darnold played against the Seattle Seahawks every week, I'd be his number one fan. I can't stand those fucking people up there as fucking lunatics. But yeah, no, Sam Darnold was phenomenal. If I was a fan of an NFL team, I wouldn't want him on mine unless I was the Minnesota Vikings or a team that has phenomenal wide receivers and offensive weapons like he has. But he's done a hell of a job. I'm going to give him his props, Sam Darnold. I apologize to you before the start of week 16 in the NFL, and you will definitely disappoint everyone in Minnesota in your first playoff game. I still believe that. So, backhanded compliment. Backhanded compliment.
Hey, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. 13-2. Let me say
Phenomenal.
that again.
No doubt about it.
13-2.
I know it. Yeah, the best Rafa was talking about too. That won them the game. And
Dude, that was a great fucking play.
And his ankle, like 2 plays before, just got crushed by like a 350-pound lineman too.
Dude, by the way, since we're on throws real quick, the throw that AOC made, rolling out
to win the game. Yeah,
dickhead.
We're not giving him credit.
No,
Are we not giving AOC credit for that throw, Ed?
No. All of a sudden, you want to be Michael Vick? Now, I mean, dude, like there was a stat where he scrambled the least out of any quarterback in the last 2 years. Like dude didn't eat scrambled eggs. Like he refused to eat. I mean, scrambling is such
Aiden O'Connell in games where Raiders need to lose plays his heart out.
Right?
Turns into prime Tom Brady.
Fucking crazy,
Bro, take
man.
him on FanDuel this week for your quarterback. FanDuel.
But let's get into this game.
AOC's throw was great, but let's get into
Phenomenal.
the game. Green Bay,
Because
Minnesota.
this
is a great
really good.
This is a huge game for Green Bay because Green Bay winning tonight, and we think they will. They're 14-point favorites. Green Bay winning tonight, as we can presume they will. They will go into. They will play that game against Minnesota. Then, if they win that game, by the way, Minnesota ends the year against Detroit. So, and that's not a gimme game for them. So this can actually flip. I believe if Green Bay and them end with the same record, I think Green Bay would finish higher in the playoff seeding, I believe.
Yeah.
So if Green Bay wins out, Minnesota loses their last two, you have Green Bay and Detroit. This is a must-win game for both teams. I think we're in for a treat there in the NFC North.
Let me apologize. Let me just apologize and to Josh Jacobs real quick. Josh Jacobs, we drafted you in the first round as being a Raider fan. He talked a lot of shit on the way out the door, but what he said was all factual. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, King Henry. It's the year of the running back. Josh Jacobs is the foundation of that offense. Green Bay is, if they're a stock, I am sold and I am buying Green Bay. I think LaFleur has done a phenomenal job. Green Bay is a scary team. I know, a lot of these AFC teams, if we thought the AFC was superior at a certain point, I don't know, man. If you look at the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFC, man,
we can do it right now.
Yeah, let's look at it.
AFC. What do you want to go by? The best 4 teams or the best 4 seeds? 2 different questions.
No, just the best 4 teams. I think if you look at the AFC, it's Buffalo, the Buffalo, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and then after that, I think in the AFC, realistically, I think we have a drop off after that. No.
Yes, it's either you can choose the Steelers. It's realistically the Steelers, and then the Texans.
Yeah, but the Steelers have looked awful the last 2 weeks. Realistically, if we look at the AFC, it's pretty much a 3-team race. If we look at the NFC, like Ed was saying, you have the Eagles, who I know, and Jalen Hurts just got hurt, but you have the Eagles who played. He should be, yeah. But you have the Eagles, and no order either. The Eagles, the Lions, who lost Montgomery and still look great. And then you have Minnesota, and you have Green Bay, who's also playing phenomenal. So, Eddie's right.
And the Rams, they've been heating up.
They're heating up, but let's stop it.
I would take the Rams over the Texans.
I would take the Rams over the Texans too. I'd take the Rams over the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Texans. That's 100%. I'd probably take the Rams today over the Steelers. If that's where we're going.
Listen, the Rams played the Jets. The Rams play almost anyone else last week. They're probably losing that game.
But Eddie, that Jets game, to be fair, that's a West Coast team going to the East Coast in a 10 a.m. time slot on where we're at, 7 a.m. in Hawaii. So I mean that's a early game, and we know how West traveling to East, and that's also the same team in the same time slot that lost to Seattle. The Rams didn't play great, but they got the win, and they won by 10 on the road in a time slot that's always tough for the West Coast teams.
It is.
But so the Rams are playing a lot, really good.
The defense in that second half showed up heavily. They were down by a field goal, and the Jets had a fourth down within the 10 yards of the red zone, and they held them. And then after that, Rams go on, I think, like a 6-minute drive, just run it down, and they score. And then, boom, that was a game there.
The top 4 teams in the top. Sorry, Rafa. The top 4 teams. I would not be shocked to see a Green Bay, Minnesota, Lions, or who's the 4th team I'm missing there?
Eagles.
The Eagles. To me, they all look Super Bowl ready, and I would not be shocked to see any of those 4 teams win the Super Bowl.
For me, I have the Packers in the NFC Conference Championship.
You think they're better than Minnesota?
And the NFC title game?
Yeah.
Against the Eagles?
I could see 2 teams. Man.
Woohoo! It's going to be good, man. Don't be
well,
good.
Eddie, Pillaging asked me and you, the Raider fans. He said we fucked up on not signing Josh Jacobs.
Well, I agree. Rafa will tell you, and this is his argument about the Giants not keeping Saquon. What good would it have done? You're right. It probably wouldn't, it probably worth 1 or 2 wins. But Josh Jacobs, man, he's the heart and soul of that team. And he runs in between the tackles just as good as anybody in the NFL, And for being a small guy, he's so good in between those tackles, man. Like I watch him and I'm like, dude, I apologize for talking all that shit, man. Like good for you. Like I'm happy for him. He's in a better organization right now. He's he's a key piece to that Green Bay offense.
He also asked, were you mad at the Brock Bowers pick?
I was only mad because we lost out on Michael Penix.
A quarterback. Yeah.
That's the only reason I was mad. Was I excited about it? No, because I couldn't get past like shit.
The quarterback issue.
Yeah, we're gonna go into another year with not having a franchise quarterback.
For some context, Eddie brought champagne while we watched the NFL draft because he was gonna pop it regardless of who the Raiders drafted at quarterback.
I was like, JJ McCarthy, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Speaking of JJ McCarthy, what do you do, Rafa? I know I'm skipping around, but no, we're on the Minnesota game, right? We're on Minnesota.
Yeah, we're still in the Minnesota game.
Yeah. What do you do? Let's say Sam Darnold gets you to the NFC Championship. How? Because I feel like you can get a sort of like a Baker Mayfield deal type with if you keep Sam Darnold and maybe trade away JJ. Like,
I don't think they trade away JJ yet. I don't think they trade away JJ, but I think if they make it to the NFC title game or even win a playoff game, I don't know how you can move away from Sam unless he's commanding a shit ton of money. And he's gonna command. I think if you got Darnold on a Geno Smith type deal, then I don't think you can. I think you keep him at that Geno Smith number right in there, whatever it is. Now you can adjust it, by the years or whatever. Right?
27 million to maybe say 32 million. If you could
even 35, even 35 is the number, right? But because he's shown you that he's 13-2 now, and they could finish 15 as good as 15-2. I don't think they will, but 13-3 or 13-4, 14-3, whatever it ends up being, I think it would be insane. And they still have a chance at the bye, by the way. If they win out, they would have the bye. Like I don't see how you can move away from that unless you really believe that your defense was that good and you can do it with anybody and your weapons are that good. And even then, coming off of an injury like McCarthy had, it's not like, it's just something like he's going to be available right away.
Not just a plug and play.
Mm-hmm. Not just a plug and play. Like it's not, it's a bigger deal. So I mean,
if Vikings make the NFC Championship, they should resign him and have JJ learn behind him.
Yeah, that's a perfect scenario for him. And who would ever thought before the season started that we would be saying someone sit behind Sam Darnold and learn from them, learn behind him, right? But he's done a phenomenal job, and you can't discredit that what he's done. So if I'm Minnesota, I think you pay him. I don't think if obviously they win a playoff game or two, get the bye, whatever. I think you have to look at it and say, hey, we gotta keep this guy if it's $35 million. If it's more than that, then it's like, whoa, fuck.
35's a crazy deal now. Like, think about it.
Well, you got to remember the guys that are getting paid are 50 and 55
and up.
48. Yeah, so at 35, I mean, you could have a team. Yeah, I mean, you could have a team that says, hey, we only need a quarterback. Do the Jets say, fuck it, let's try Sam Darnold again? We see what he can do with weapons, and let's give him $40 million. Do they say that? We don't, there's so many things out there, but I think Minnesota should reward him if he wins a playoff game. I believe they should reward him with something, and at least a two-year deal for $80 million or something like that, with 35 or 37 guaranteed. Somewhere in there, I think would be super fair.
Yeah.
Pillaging says Darnold was a really good college quarterback. The Jets did him dirty, and that'd be cool signing Darnold if he makes it to the NFC Championship.
Agree. For the record, Pillaging.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll give Eddie some credit here.
Always been on the Sam Darnold.
Yes.
Always been on the Sam Darnold. San Clemente High, the Titans, parents both teachers, great kid. You don't want. That's why if I'm Dion, I don't want my kids going to New York. There's some Puerto Ricans doing some crazy shit on some fucking quarterbacks in New York, man. Sam Darnold ain't going to the Jets. I don't care if they offered him $70 million. Sam Darnold is not going to the Jets.
I'm just saying it. Because if you look at if you look at the Jets roster wise, we can still say that they're just a fucking if Aaron Rodgers was on this team 3 years ago, they'd fucking probably be the number one team in the AFC. But it's not. It's fucking 41 or 42 or whatever the fuck it is, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and so, but by the way, going back real quick to the Josh Jacobs thing that you were talking about, I did say, and I've been on record here saying about the Saquon, the Giants not re-signing him. I think, though, Josh Jacobs re-signing to the Raiders might have meant more than 2 wins, because Antonio Pierce wanted to play that style of football from the get-go. That's the style. I think if they would have had Josh Jacobs, it was the style that Antonio Pierce wanted to play. And I don't think they'd be an 8 or 9 win team. I think they'd be somewhere in the 6 or 7, maybe even competing with the Chargers and the Broncos if they would have kept them, because it was going to be the style that he wanted to play. You maybe never even dump Devontae Adams, because you would have had a run game, and it just a little different, I think, than the Giants situation.
Agree. And you're going
opinion.
You're I think that's a great take, because you're also going in with Zamir White, who is a 18-wheeler. I mean, talk about no wiggle. That dude, zero wiggle on that vato. Like, he could only run if there's 3 feet a hole. Like, he hasn't made anyone miss a tackle since probably fucking pee-wee fucking football. Big, strong, zero wiggle. So,
well,
I think
what are we taking in this game?
I like Green Bay. I like Green Bay. I just think I think Jordan Love is. I think Green Bay is just is one of those.
It's in the elements, correct? It's
in Minnesota.
It's inside in Minnesota. No. They're favored. The line came out already, and it's 1.5. So obviously Vegas.
Yeah, Vikings are favored.
And Eddie Money gave you the Vegas rankings earlier. They hold Green Bay a lot higher in their rankings than Minnesota. They hold Green Bay at 4 in Vegas.
Yeah, they're back to back. Green Bay 4, Minnesota 5.
Right. So, and obviously they're valuing Green Bay at 1.5 better than Minnesota in a neutral field is what it would be.
No. Vikings are favored by the 1.5.
Right. And normally if you're at home, it's automatic.
I get what you mean. Yes.
So, if this game was on a neutral field, you'd probably flip it and Green Bay would be favored in this game. But it's in Minnesota.
Smack it.
So
rub it down.
I like Green Bay. I like Green Bay. Minnesota's had some tough calls. I mean, they've had tight games, and Green Bay, I think, will be able to. They've had tight games against Arizona, against Seattle. Those are games that they've been able to get away with. I don't know if they can get away in a tight game from Green Bay. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they'll be able to. But they also tight game earlier in the year against the Colts.
Well, we mentioned Penix earlier, and he has a big game this upcoming week. He's going on the road to play with the Washington Redskins. Redskins are favored by 4, over under 47.
Dude, I love this fucking game. This game is going to be on Sunday Night Football. It's a perfect flex game. You have 2 rookie quarterbacks. Michael Penix didn't look bad. He didn't look great. The one interception wasn't his fault. Came off of Kyle Pitts' hands. I don't know if you guys saw it.
That was disgusting. That was the worst interception of all time.
That was so bad. I mean, Kyle Pitts has to have that ball. I thought also play calling there, but Atlanta's defense, and we talked about it last week. with Ryan Holmes, who's our resident Atlanta Falcons fan, and he wasn't on today, so I took down the Michael Vick jersey. But if he would have been on, I would have left the Vick jersey up. But Bo knows, and so, but dude, Atlanta's defense was just insane, and I know it was the Giants, but dude, they were phenomenal. And Washington has struggled. They beat the Eagles, yes, but they struggled in that game. I mean, they converted some fourth downs. They converted big plays. I think 4 points is a lot. I like the Falcons plus the 4 on Sunday night. And by the way, the Falcons control their own destiny. The Falcons control they have the tiebreaker in that division. So against Tampa, they beat them twice already. So I mean, Atlanta wins out and they're in. And Atlanta was my preseason pick to win the South. So I'm sticking with the Falcons. Go Birds!
It's an insanely big game for the Falcons because the Bucks, they play the Panthers at home.
Yes. By the way, Carolina's been playing a lot better.
Yes, but still.
But still, yes.
Can I put a bounty out in public?
Bounty game's back.
I want to put a bounty for the last person within it. It has to be this year to catch Michael Penix without a do-rag on. If you can send me a picture of Michael Penix without a do-rag on, I will send you a Two Nobodies sweatshirt. I shipping included. Did that Vato wear a do-rag to the Heisman Trophy ceremony? I mean,
bro, I believe he did. And I want to say that he has a worse hairline than Brock Bowers.
Is that what it is? I mean,
it's got to be that. It's got to be that. It's got to be that.
No, he didn't wear it at the Heisman ceremony.
Oh, he didn't?
Dude,
no.
I want to see.
And his hairline's not bad at all. I'm looking at
I want to see like him open a closet and just have like an array of purple do-rags and black do-rags and red, like dude, his wave gotta be on point with all the do-rags.
They gotta be
tight. That wave has to be tight, man. Yeah, but I'm putting it out there.
Boom.
There it is, right there. Oh,
right
man.
there. We did it.
Man, if I look like that, I'd never wear a do-rag.
Yeah, like what's the deal, man? Although
you can't mess up the waves, man.
Although
Michael Penix might be my second black dude man crush. Good looking
cat.
Who's
number one?
You know who number one is.
Oh, it's Myles Garrett. It's Myles Garrett.
It's Myles Garrett. You seen that man without a shirt on, bro? I'm gonna have a poster of that shit on the back, but I gotta get him to sign it. I'll put it back here. If he signs it, I put the shit back here.
Yeah, Rafa
Myles
is
Garrett, shirtless,
like in White Chicks when Wayans Brothers walks into the house and he has a picture of what's his name?
Terry Crews, right?
Terry Crews. Like, who's that? Oh, that's my trainer. That he inspires me. That's that. Yeah. If you walk into Rafa's house, it's a picture of Myles Garrett above the fireplace. No shirt, bearskin rug.
Dude. Eddie Money, send this to Myles Garrett. If he sends me a picture, a poster with no shirt on, autograph, I will frame it, and I will put the shit up right here. Myles Garrett is the best body in the NFL, period. Myles Garrett. No homo, full Diddy, whatever the fuck you want. No Diddy, yes Diddy, fuck it. Myles Garrett is a bad looking motherfucker. That's what it is.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to put a picture.
I had to get it out.
Yeah, I'm going to put a picture of Michael Penix, no do-rag in the back. For the first person that sends me a picture of him within the last year with no do-rag, by. That's...
Okay, so Pillaging says he can see Carolina beating the Bucks, which would flip everything in that situation. But going into the next great game of the week, Broncos head to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Bengals favored by 3, over under of 50. This is for playoff hopes to stay alive for Cincinnati.
Ooh. Dude, the Bengals, Joe Burrow's been just fucking sensational.
Just slanging.
Jesus. Bro, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Burrow.
Higgins.
How are you breaking that up? And Burrow
and
talks a lot about T. Higgins when they ask him. And Chase Brown's been great as well.
Great.
T. Higgins is just he's been so good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so hard. Jamar Chase's star shines so big. But T. Higgins is a big piece of that offense as well for Joe. And having him out there, I think helps Burrow so much more. Obviously Chase, but when you have a second receiver that is that good, it is something, man. And Joe's done it this
100%.
year. They've done a great job. I think their defense is, we know what their defense has been, total shit. For the
Suspect.
most part, although suspect, they did hold Cleveland to 6 points, but without Jameis Winston and
with DTR.
With DTR, and which, by the way, they drove the field on the first drive and had a fumble at the 1, which might have changed that entire game. You saw that fumble, right?
Rafa, if you need something to go up into the man cave, Big Vern got you. He said he'll post like Burt Reynolds and say,
a Smokey and the Bandit, man. Smokey and the Bandit pick.
All right, send it, Vern, but make sure you sign it. Send it to me. I'll frame that motherfucker and we'll put it up.
Bro, dude, when are we going to get Big Vern on? It's been too long, man. Been too long.
Yeah, we got to get Big Vern on. Before he goes to Saudi Arabia, we got to get Big Vern on.
Yes. Factuals. Shout out to Big Vern and Power Slap.
But I want the Burt Reynolds pick of the pose. Send that over, Vern. Make sure you sign it, though.
Yes.
So for this game, do you see the Bengals winning and keeping their hopes alive, or do the Broncos
I see the Bengals
come in there and crush them?
No, I see the Bengals 100% winning, and I want to see how Denver reacts after that tough loss. Big breakdown in the second half. Would they score 3 points in that second half? Maybe. Or
maybe 6,
I don't remember what it was. But would they score?
Let's see. I think maybe 6 points. Yeah, 6
it was.
points.
I mean,
field goal in each quarter.
Bad second half for the Broncos. Let's see if they can how they come back from that. Obviously, young quarterback, experienced head coach, obviously, but young quarterback, younger side of the one of the younger teams in the NFL. So we'll see how they come. But I like Cincinnati in this game. I think their offense has been lights out, and we'll see. Denver's defense has been pretty good, but you gave up 34 to the Chargers. You're going to face arguably what is the best offense, one of the 3 best offenses in the league, in my opinion, in Cincinnati. So I love the Bengals in this one.
Pillaging said if Pat Surtain plays Denver, Denver could win. Here's the thing with that defense. I saw, John Gruden. I don't know how much he got paid by Barstool, but he's earning his money. He's earning his money.
He's worth every fucking penny.
He is.
That is a national treasure.
I never skip a John Gruden clip.
No, it's amazing.
Got me feeling nice.
But he asked Big Cat. He's like, "I'll give you $20 if you name me how many
for every player you can name.
Every player he names.
He named 2 guys,
and it's true. They are a no-name defense. Pillaging brought up Pat Surtain, but it's really hard to come up with 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they've been doing it without some big names. So congrats to the Broncos, man. Yeah, but I like the Bengals too, Rafa.
Me too. I like the Bengals minus the 3. That's actually going to be my pick of the week once we get there.
And going into our last game of the week, it's for the number 1 pick. Titans and Jags will play each other. Jags are favored by 1, over under a 41.
Well, it's got number 1 pick potential. Yes, but we know that the Giants, that is locked in for the Giants at this point. Like, that team is just god awful at this point. But Jags and the Titans, I mean, listen, if you're watching this, you're just a degenerate gambler. Kudos to you to watch this. It's going to be disgusting to watch. But since Will Levis is not playing, I always lean towards the Titans when Will Levis does not play. That man is not an NFL quarterback. I'm sorry, Will Levis. You may be 6'4", and the problem is you eat mayonnaise at a ridiculous rate. Like, mayonnaise is disgusting.
Emphasis on the ridiculous rate.
And your name is and your game is disgusting. His hands are too greasy. He's fumbling the ball. It's all that mayonnaise you got in your hands, man.
Yeah.
You don't got Butterfingers. You got mayonnaise
fingers.
Mayonnaise hands. His whole hands. The whole shit. But no, this is going to be a disgusting game, by the way. But Jaguar site. Where's this game at? In Jacksonville?
Yeah.
You know what? Will Levis. You know what he should be. You remember Eddie Money doesn't remember this, but I know Rafa does because we played on the streets underneath the street lights. You remember you had that one kid who played quarterback on both sides of for each team, like
all-time quarterback.
All-time quarterback.
Yeah.
Will Levis should be all-time quarterback at the Duke Mayo Bowl.
There
Like
you go.
he should be
All time.
He should be all time.
Double
Both
jersey.
teams quarterback, double jersey, just Velcro at the Duke Mayo Bowl. I bet he would. That'd be better than the Rose Bowl, man.
40-year-old Will Levis coming in.
All time
The
quarterback.
historic all-time quarterback.
Yeah, dude, he's god awful, man. He's got all the size and all the good stuff, yet can't play quarterback. And he still
Yes.
think like, dude, they're moving on. I'm almost sure
Oh,
they're moving on.
They're gonna draft a quarterback, Rafa. They're gonna draft a quarterback.
Which makes it even tougher for the Raiders to get one at this point.
Yeah. What is that? Is that our last game? Because I this name is killing
Who are the
me.
Raiders playing?
Oh, God.
Saints.
Raiders Saints, the Derek Carr Bowl without
In
Derek
New
Carr.
Orleans.
Yeah, I believe Spencer is starting.
Oh yeah, fucking
Sorry,
Antonio
tonight.
Pierce. Antonio Pierce is gonna go in there and win that fucking game. Antonio Pierce is gonna love to put the fuck to the Raiders, and he's gonna walk out of there with the Raiders picking at 9, and he's gonna sit at home on draft night and fucking just laugh his ass off.
You know, it's gonna be so funny. Or you know what the worst part of yesterday was going on Instagram and seeing the fucking Raiders. I was so pissed. I was like,
Listen, if Tom Telesco was smart, he'd bring back Luke Getzey to do a guest appearance as the OC and make sure we lose this shit, man. Like Norv Turner.
Norv's up there coaching his ass off, isn't he?
Scott
fucking Norv.
Scott and Norv, that's a red flag when someone offers you a job and you be like, "Can I bring my dad? Can I bring my dad to work too to help me out?" To me, that's a red flag. Like, Scott, Papa.
Vern says, "Yeah, no, I got you, Ed. I got
Yeah.
you. Big time red flag." Vern says, "Is Dion really going to the Raiders?" I don't think he is. I think Dion is not a head coach, in my opinion, an NFL head coach. Anyways, I don't think he will. I think, dude, Dion. When you watch, I watch a lot of the shit that Dion's like, a lot of the podcasts that he's on and stuff like that, because I love to hear Dion speak.
He's on everything.
He's on everything.
Does more shows than we do.
Yeah, I love to hear him speak. I really do. And he has so much passion to help a lot of these young men, a lot of these young guys become men, on and off the field, right? And I think that's that might be his calling, and he's doing it. He's doing a great job, to be honest with you. And dude, so I think Dion doesn't go to the NFL anytime soon.
But Rafa and Big Vern, what a better place for him to go. You want to get dudes in check? Go to Vegas. Dion don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't gamble, and he will have none of that shit. That's all the more reason Vegas does need him, because everyone said, "Oh, putting a team, NFL team, a baseball team, a basketball team in Vegas is a big red flag because there's too much temptation." It's ended up being true at this point. Even for the coach. The coach was caught at 3 a.m, 2 days before a game, fucking gambling.
He was game planning, all right.
Listen, it's a huge. And by the way, this goes even before the Raiders got to Vegas. When the Golden Knights started, and in Golden Knights' first season, every team that played in Vegas, if they played the next night or one night after, so if they had just one night off or no nights off, their record the next game was a ridiculous. I think that the rate was like they were losing at an 81% rate, if I'm not mistaken. That was the first year that the Knights were in Vegas, where teams were going in, playing the Knights, and the next night they'd either go down to Phoenix or into Anaheim and play the Ducks or the Kings or whatever, or even down in Dallas. They were struggling that next night just getting out of Vegas. So that's definitely, and that was hockey, which is it's 100%. It's 100% a thing. So imagine guys who are living there, and most of the guys, it's a lot of temptation. And those NFL guys, they make money. It's not like the NHL guys who, the NFL guy can walk into a casino and drop $100,000, and obviously it's going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt as much as an NHL guy. So
it's facts. It's straight facts, and I think Dion would be a perfect fit, but I don't think he's coming.
By the way, Pillaging just for fun says, honestly, I would rather have Dion over AP if we're giving head coach position to newbies. I don't think the Raiders go in in this direction again. I don't think they go with a rookie head coach unless it's a Ben Johnson type of guy
with some sort of coordinator NFL experience.
Yes, 100%. I don't think the Raiders can do that. Dude, the Raiders, as much as I don't say it, and I always knock the Raiders, obviously for you guys and to make the show of greater content. But the Raiders are one of the best organizations in football as far as a brand. It's a huge brand. So for them to be this fucking bad all of the time, it really is. It's like, it's like if
plata y negro.
Yeah, I'm not comparing them to the Lakers, but it's just like if it's like the Knicks. Like the Knicks couldn't be this fucking bad for so long.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same thing with the Raiders. It's like you can't be this bad for so long when you had eras of dominance. And for you to be this bad for so long, I think, I don't think you're going to go in a rookie head coach direction. Not a rookie and no experience head coach as they did with Pierce. I don't think they would go with Dion.
Pillaging, I said that last year on the show. I almost got tarred and fucking feathered. I almost got tarred and feathered for the exact thing that you said. And it's true because it's like Dallas. There's no middle ground. People don't give a shit about the Buccaneers. People don't give a shit about the Houston Texans. But people hate Dallas or love Dallas. Everyone thinks about Dallas. The Raiders, although irrelevant for the last fucking 30 years, people still love to hate them or love them.
He said, I got your back. You can tar and feather everyone who hates us.
No, it's true. It's true. I 100%. I believe it 100% because the NFL is better when the Cowboys are good because people watch them people want to see them lose, or then there's fans who obviously love them. And when the Raiders are bad, it's just kind of, and they've been bad for a long time. It's just better when they're good. It's like when the Lakers were good. It's like people want to hate them, so you want to watch them, and then when they suck, it's like you don't even want to watch anymore because they're just so bad.
Yeah.
And with the Raiders, I think it's the same thing. I think there's a handful of teams in these leagues that should be a lot better than in the NFL. You have the Niners, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Cowboys,
Cleveland
all those
Browns.
Teams. The Browns have kind of died.
I've always liked the Browns.
I mean, they got my boy.
They got your boy.
Other than that, they got my boy, but other than that, they got nothing else.
Best thing about Dallas is the cheerleaders.
You watched the show, Vern? Did you and Shannon watch that show? Jackie watched it. I went down there to watch the Ravens. She's like, send me videos of the cheerleaders. 100%. No problem. Done.
I got it. I got you.
Tough video to shoot.
Just for you, babe. Just for
Tough
you.
Video to shoot. Tough video to shoot. Best thing about Dallas is San Antonio. 4 hours south. 4 hours south. I love it.
Going to the last segment of the pod, we have our playbook sponsored by Cut. Use code 2NOBODIES when you download and get 10% back on your deposit. Everyone gives their favorite play of the week. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. I like the Bengals at home against the Broncos. -3. The Bengals offense has just looked remarkable. I think they keep it rolling, and this is a must-win game, obviously, for both teams. Bengals are at home. So I'm going to take the Bengals -3 as my playbook play of the week, sponsored by Cut, Kutt. Download the app, use the code 2NOBODIES for a 10% bonus on your first deposit. And you can find Ed and myself on there. And we have a group chat in there as well if you want to send messages or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to work the app so well, so I'm going to have Eddie Money work my end of it. So Eddie Money can handle whatever I need to handle.
Yeah, we got a public group chat. You guys can always come in there, talk with us, talk some shit. Let us know what you want to bet. We got you.
I'll go. My play of the week on Cut is gonna be the Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, for me, have been just one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL. And on the other side of that, the Rams have probably been one of the best surprises in the NFL. And with Kyron Williams Matt Stafford with his gray hairs and his beard, and obviously Puka. I really like the direction of the Rams, and I really dislike the direction of the Arizona Cardinals. So for that, I would go Rams in the garbage stadium, which is SoFi, -6. And I really think the Rams are peaking at the right time, and I'm nervous because I don't like Ram fans, but I don't. I don't. I really don't. But
I second that.
I like the direction of the team. Sean McVay, you know, last year was almost considering retirement, like not fucking coaching, and he's done one hell of a job. And let's not count out Big 99. I think there is a 3% chance. You know he's in shape. You know Aaron Donald's in shape. I don't know what the players union would allow, but if I'm Aaron Donald and they make the playoffs, hit me up, man. Hit me up. I'll get another one. I think it's a possibility. I really do. I really do. But hit me up on cut. I got the Rams -6 versus, the very disappointing Arizona Cardinals. That's my play of the week. Go follow us on cut at Bosco Ed, man.
All right. And then my play of the week, I have the Chiefs and the Steelers under 43.5 on Christmas. I will be wishing for no points scored on Christmas. I think it's two great defenses playing against each other. And then Pittsburgh, any game in Pittsburgh, I always lean towards the under. They play hard. They play tough. They play like old school the Steelers in that stadium.
Giggity. That being said,
Philip says SoFi is $1 billion piece of shit. We just the best.
$5 billion.
It's not even close. SoFi is disgusting. I'll never step foot in there unless someone I know plays there, and that probably will never happen. But SoFi is terrible. Allegiant is the best
4 years
stadium.
eligibility, Rafa. Watch out.
All right. Dude, you're gonna wear the Kobe cleats.
I have freaking you're gonna slip and fall too. I have I've sat in the best seats in the house in the VIP at SoFi, and it still doesn't impress me. Before we get off the NFL and finish the show, this thing's been bugging me for 2-3 days, and I just want you guys' opinion. Jackson Dart, formerly of, I think he played high school in Utah, SC, Old Miss, had a bad fucking last 5 minutes against Florida in the swamp, or else he would still be in the playoffs right now if it wasn't for those horrible 3 interceptions. But my question to you, to both of you, is this: where do you see Jackson Dart being taken in this coming year? And is Jackson Dart being slept on? Is Jackson Dart a better prospect than even a JJ
Quinn Ewers?
McCarthy? Oh, I know he's better than Quinn Ewers. To me, it's not even fucking close.
To say he's a better prospect than JJ McCarthy, though, he led a team to the national championship.
Yes, he did, but it wasn't the same style of offense.
Different, yeah, but
to answer your question,
I know your question's going though.
To answer your question, Ed, I think it's all going to come down to he's going to get drafted. It's all going to depend on how high the other guys go, right? We know Shador is going to go 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. And then where's Cam Ward going to go? Is he going to go in the right after that? And is it going to be early? Are the Titans going to pick a quarterback? Are the Jets going to pick a quarterback? All of those things matter, because if the Titans is Carolina going to pick a quarterback? I don't think Carolina picks a quarterback. In my opinion, not early.
Not yet.
Not early. I don't think they pick a quarterback early. I think Bryce Young has done a really good job since he's come back, granted with no really offensive weapons. So we'll see and all that's going to matter with all those teams, right? Is Tennessee going to really move on from Will Levis? I think they will. So do they draft a quarterback in the first round? Because in reality, when we look at it, we can assume, according to what everyone says, that there's probably only going to be 2 first-round quarterbacks. And we know it's Shador and probably Cam Ward. But who's taking those quarterbacks? We know the Raiders need to draft a quarterback, but at 6, is Cam Ward going to be there? Probably not. And we know Shador's probably going 1. I don't think he will be there. I mean, so all of that matters. If he's the 3rd quarterback on the board, then he probably does go in the 1st round. But that's
people always reach. People always reach just the one spot they
100%.
reach for is quarterback. But do you think he is?
But
do you think he is reach, Rafa? Do you? Obviously, you think he's the 3rd best prospect. Do you see? I mean, I feel the reason I ask is I feel
who's reaching. Who's doing the reaching? If I'm the Raiders at 6, I'm reaching.
Really? No, that's my question. Titans, Jets, like you said, is Jackson Dart being slept on?
I think he is, but it's still too early. I think we got to wait another month or so after the bowl games, after everyone's done playing. We get a Senior Bowl workouts, all that crap, and then we'll see from there. You know how the combine is, pro days and all that shit.
Shoot up, shoot down.
But yeah, so if I'm the Jets and I'm going to keep Aaron Rodgers for one more year, I take Jackson Dart, but I don't know if I take him with my first pick. I don't know if I take him in that top 10. That's what I'm saying. Last year, the quarterbacks, all of those teams needed quarterbacks. Yeah. This year, when we look at it, who are the teams that need quarterbacks and how desperate will they be? Are the Raiders going to be that desperate at 6, the way they sit today, to take Jackson Dart at 6? I
hope that. I think personally
that'd be a ridiculous reach. I think if he went somewhere in the 20s where somebody trades back in from the beginning of the 2nd round, maybe to trade back in to take him somewhere in the mid-20s, maybe it's not so much of a reach. I don't think this season coming up, I don't think you're going to have the whole quarterback, it's going to be more like Kenny Pickett's year, I believe. Obviously, Kenny Pickett was the only one, but here at least we have 2.
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Jackson Dart is like a late 2nd, 3rd round pick.
Really? Would you say that if they were in the playoffs and potentially? Yes. I mean, Old Miss,
but he would if he was in the playoffs,
could win it. Old Miss, if he was in the playoffs, could win a national championship.
Yeah, he would be able to prove himself a little more. But for me, he looked decent, but it's giving me like Spencer Rattler vibes.
Oh no.
Drafting wise,
definitely not.
Position. That's just me.
No, Spencer dropped because he had a bad attitude and all that. I don't think you get that from Jackson. The other thing is too with Jackson, when Trey Harris went down, he struggled mightily. I mean, that he goes down, that Florida game doesn't come back, and that's where they end up basically losing the game.
Yeah.
So Jackson Dart, I still just it all depends on how. I don't think teams are going to reach. Not like the teams that need quarterbacks is basically you have the Giants, you have the Raiders, and the Titans. But the Titans, do they really want to move on and waste use another 1st round pick on a quarterback when they have Will Levis and he's been god awful, but it's been 2 years? Do they do that? Is Carolina doing that? I don't think Carolina does. I can see Carolina taking him in the 3rd round if he's still there. I can see the Jets taking him, but not in the top 10. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, is what I'm saying. I think he's the 3rd best quarterback.
Carolina.
I don't think the desperation of the teams will tell you that. And to be honest with you, the Sam Darnold thing is a big deal for a lot of these teams. I don't think it's a deal for the Giants. I think the Giants are going to draft a quarterback. I think the Sam Darnold thing plays into a move like the Titans, where the Titans can maybe bring in Sam Darnold, and then that eliminates a spot where you're not taking a quarterback. So all of that
Damien
plays.
Said Jackson Dart to the Raiders.
Is that what I was really getting at? I don't know. No, listen.
But Zach said definitely not DJ to the Raiders.
Get him in the 7th round, man.
By the way, Big Vern says, before you guys go, what do you guys think about the new JUCO rule?
So for those that don't know, the Vandy quarterback just went to court and he won. So now the years of eligibility from JUCO doesn't count against you if you go up to D1 or just any NCAA.
You have an opinion on this, Rafa?
I don't think it doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. I don't think it bothers me. It's junior college. I mean, fuck. The thing is, you're gonna get. We already have 23-year-old quarterbacks in college. We might have now 25-year-old quarterbacks
Yeah,
coming
we
real
have
soon.
those motherfuckers that
We're gonna have
without
more.
JUCO.
Yeah, we're gonna have more Brandon Whedons in college football in the next 3 or 4 years than
Yeah,
than
20,
than than
27,
than our
27 years old.
yes.
Chris
won't-
Winky, Florida State.
All those guys, although they did go to play baseball first and then came back,
Yeah.
right? But or were drafted in. But yeah, I think that's what it's gonna just turn out to be. And who knows? It could make the college football product probably a little better. But it will be different in the draft when you're gonna go and draft a fucking 27-year-old fucking quarterback.
Yeah. I'm torn on this subject. I can see. Listen, I never want to not give someone more opportunity, which I believe this is. I 100%, and especially in baseball, kids mature 17 to 22, completely different. I hit
the
puberty.
baseball thing is a bigger difference.
Yeah, I was a monster, Vern, in the 6th grade. You know, my sons were monsters in the 6th grade. Our balls dropped and had hair on their nuts in the 6th grade, and we dominated. My sons did a lot better than I did, but I was a left tackle projected coming out of the 6th grade. But
He then became a fullback.
Yeah. So here is my issue with this and this ruling is that already with the transfer portal is high school recruiting and high school kids getting an opportunity to go get an education. It was already almost cut in half. Legit half, because now these top programs are waiting for kids 18, 19, 20. They are, their nuts are dropping, they're developing, they're, as a man and being a mature man, you could see more where your head's at, where you're focused. And so already with that, you've already cut high school opportunities in half. Now, Rafa, think about that is going to cut that in another half, because these good programs have film against, conference opponents like this kid from UTEP, this kid from UMass, this kid from Central Florida. They have film against going against guys, and big 5 programs. So these high school kids now, it used to be a big thing. If you're not a 5-star or 4-star, I mean, who goes to watch JUCO football games? I just, that's my issue with it, is that you're taking opportunity away from more high school kids. But at the same time, I get it. And like I said, these kids are maturing at a different rate. So you're kind of doing the same on both sides. Are you taking opportunity from JUCO? To me, I would have kept it the same. Now that I'm talking about it out loud, I don't like it. Show your maturity, start taking testosterone. I don't know, in fucking 7th grade. I just think you're taking too much opportunity away from the high school and the high school kids. And CJ, I'm a big high school Friday Night Light. I love high school football. I really do. And this is going to hurt a ton of high school kids that, are now going to have to go the JUCO route. So that's my take, Vern. Great question, Vern.
Yeah.
Any money? Any?
I don't really mind it.
All right.
Like the Vandy quarterback, I feel like it's like a one in a million.
I don't know about that.
But here's the thing. I love that kid. First of all, he's a wrestler.
Awesome kid. Yeah.
He's a wrestler. I think 3-time state finalist in New Mexico. So already he has my heart. But what is he going to do with these other 2 years? He's not an NFL quarterback. I'm sorry to say. What is another 2 years going to do for him, Rafa, in the grand scheme of things? Other than
NIL money.
Get you a free master's
take
degree.
Opportunity away from high school kids.
Well, Eddie, the thing is, you got to look. I mean, for him, these next 2 years could be 2 more years of schooling. Also, maybe some NIL money. I mean, you never know. I mean, The other thing is doing this, the kids that go to junior college, when they come in there, they're going to be more mature. And there's a lot of immature kids at 18, 19, 20 years old. So, I mean, you're going to get more maturity from a lot of it's going to make college football in 4 years. The product's going to be a lot better because of this, I believe.
No,
It's my opinion.
You're going to see a lot of fucking girlfriends and fiancés with fucking
100%. But we see it at BYU anyway.
A child carrier, yeah. Like,
we see it at BYU anyways. But
rocking their
all right, guys. I
that
gotta
wraps
get
up
out of
the
here.
show.
Okay. I promise that we will get to how to fix college basketball soon. But before we go, I just want to say Merry Christmas to all. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. I love all of you guys. Pillaging, you're awesome today. Big Vern, we love you. We got to get you on the show. Mikey, Zach. Have
Our
a
new
safe
friend from
Christmas.
Guam.
Have a great Christmas, guys. Enjoy your family. Fuck the politics. I don't care if you're, a Charger fan or a Raider fan. Put that shit to the side. Enjoy your family. Like Rafa told me today, it's the thought that counts, Eddie. I'm like, my kids are gonna hate me.
I'm right.
He's like, it's the thought that counts, and it's about being together with family and friends. Don't trip. Don't trip if you have different views. That's what makes the fucking world fucking great. Stop tripping, people. That's all I gotta say.
Right. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll be back next Monday. Our shows are usually Tuesday, Wednesday, but we'll be back next Monday because of the holidays.
Holidays in play, baby. Holidays are in play.
Hopefully about this time. So we will see you guys next week.
See you then.
Love you guys.